All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 bad habits that could potentially be holding you back from getting to financial freedom. Now, if you're new here, hi, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor turned entrepreneur. And for the last 7 years, I've been documenting the journey on this YouTube channel, starting off as a medical student, making videos, helping students study for exams, and eventually building a business to the point where I am financially free. Now, for me, that journey has been very long and very windy, and I've been trying to get to financial freedom for the last 15 years, and it took me maybe 12 years to get to the point of financial freedom. So I'm hoping that by watching this video and the other videos on my channel where we talk about this stuff, you're able to shortcut that process. So we're going to talk about 3 bad habits that are potentially holding you back. But before we do that, let's talk about how should we even think philosophically about what financial freedom is and how do we get there. All right, so what is financial freedom? Well, I really like Professor Scott Galloway's definition, which is financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your burn rate, i.e. there is more money coming in without you having to do stuff than there is money that you are spending. This means that if you want to be financially free, you've kind of got 2 levers to play with. You can increase the amount of passive income you have coming into your life, or you can decrease the amount of money that you're spending. And ideally, you would do some sort of combination of the 2 things. And you probably won't want to retire and just not do anything, because that gets boring after a while. And then people who retire get depressed and have heart attacks and stuff. But you'll have the freedom and the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. And you will probably realize that you want to do work of some sort, but you'll have the freedom to choose what sort of work you're actually doing. And that's really the true value of financial freedom. So that then sort of begs the question, how do you arrive at this point of financial freedom where you're increasing your passive income and that passive income is greater than your costs? Well, based on this equation, we can basically see that there are 2 levers you can pull. You can decrease your costs or you can increase your passive income. Now, broadly, there are actually 2 paths to this. MJ DeMarco, in his book, The Millionaire Fast Lane, which is a good book, says there's the slow lane path and then there is the fast lane path. And even fast lane, for the record, he defines as being about 10 years long. So that's considered fast in this world. So the slow lane path is where you have a job and your job generates income. And then you put that income into savings or into investments or into slowly buying out a property every now and then, or maybe putting it in a stock market index fund like the S&P 500. And eventually you use what's called the 4% rule, which is that let's say you end up having £1 million in the S&P 500, which is a stock market index fund. You can withdraw 4% of that safely every year without touching the principal. So your passive income in that case would be 40K per year. Now, if you can live on less than 40K per year, inflation adjusted, etc., now you are financially free because your passive income has exceeded your lifestyle costs. This is the slow lane path. This takes a very long time to get there. And there is an alternative approach. The alternative approach is the fast lane path. And the fast lane path is where you really figure out, can I build some sort of asset or can I build some sort of business? The slow way of getting to financial freedom is by having a job and by saving and investing well and doing that over a very long period of time. The faster way, which still probably takes about 10 years, is to build some sort of asset or to build some sort of business. And so in this video, I really want to focus on this fast lane approach. There are other videos, and we might do one in the future, that is aimed at people where the goal is, you know what, I just want to have a job and I want to put aside 20% of my income into investments, and 20 years from now, I will then be financially free. To me, that doesn't hold much appeal because I don't really want to be financially free when I'm 50. I'd like to be financially free when I'm 30 or 35 or 28 or 25 or 23 or whatever the thing might be. Really, I'd like to be financially free as soon as possible because then I'm able to use my time, which is my most valuable non-renewable resource, on things that I actually want to use my time on rather than necessarily on my day job, which if I was able to design my life however I wanted, chances are I wouldn't do the day job that I'm currently doing. So the goal really is the fast lane approach to financial freedom. How do we build an asset or business that boosts our passive income while keeping our lifestyle costs reasonably low so that we can get to this equation for financial freedom? And so in this video, I want to talk about 3 bad habits that are holding you back from this fast lane approach and hold a lot of people back. The first one is, what's the first one? All right, so let's talk about bad habit number 1. Now, if we understand this equation, we know that the goal is to build some sort of asset that gives us enough passive income such that we can feel financially free. And the way we do this is a skill. It is a skill. It is not luck. Of course, luck is involved, as with everything in life, but the ability to build businesses and assets is a skill. If you were to take all of Elon Musk's money and connections and stuff away, he would probably become financially free fairly quickly because he has the skill of building businesses and assets. I think with me, I have less of a skill of building businesses and assets than Elon Musk does, but I've been trying to make money on the internet and building businesses for about 15 years of my life now, so I would say I have the skill. So if I were to lose all of my money and all my clout and all my fame and my YouTube channel and everything, I suspect within a year, I would probably be able to get to a point of financial freedom because I have the skill of building assets and businesses that I've developed over the last 15 years. Now, given that this is a skill, I think this is one key important thing to keep in mind, that a lot of people who aspire to financial freedom just don't appreciate that the skill of building these assets is a skill, and like all skills, skills can be learned. And so really bad habit number one is the habit of ignorance, where you A, don't recognize that it is a skill to build assets and businesses to get to financial freedom, and B, even if you do realize that, you're just not putting in the time to absorb the stuff that will give you a sense of what this map is. But one good financial habit that you can start right now is investing, and you might want to manage it with a service like Trading 212, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. Trading 212 is a fantastic app that I personally use that lets you invest in stocks and shares in a commission-free fashion. In particular, they've got a new cash ISA, which is paperless, offers the highest annual percentage yield on the market, is FSCS protected up to £85,000, and is completely free to use. Both the cash ISA and the stocks and shares ISA are flexible, meaning you can withdraw from them and return money to them freely within the tax year without impacting your ISA allowance. And they also have a new Trading 212 card that gives you 1.5% cash back, which will be allocated to your invest account for each deposit that you make into your ISA. They also have an awesome Pies and Auto Invest feature, which are powerful tools for creating diversified portfolios and automating the monthly investing process with scheduled deposits. So if any of that sounds up your street, then do hit the link in the video description, and that will take you to this page where you'll be guided on how to sign up for an account. And if you use that link, then you'll also get a free share up to the value of £100, so you might as well, it's just free money. So thank you so much Trading 212 for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. So how do you learn about the skill? Well, you carve out time in your day to read books, to listen to audiobooks, to listen to podcasts, to watch YouTube videos about building that skill of building businesses. On my podcast, for example, there's a bunch of videos I've done with other entrepreneurs where they break down the exact methods they used to grow multi-million-dollar businesses and to become financially free. Similarly, there are a bunch of books. There's $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan, there's Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, there's Cody Sanchez has an ebook coming out that's very good. That's Make Epic Money by Ankur Warikoo. Just looking around at my there's .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. There's Anything by Alex Hormozy. There are literally hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of business books out there. Lots of them are on Audible. You can listen to them in audiobook format. How many of those have you read? If you're like most people I speak to about financial freedom, the answer is probably not very many. I'd say maybe about 80% of people don't really read enough or listen enough or watch enough stuff about building the skill of building businesses. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, you might like to check out my book, Feel Good Productivity. It's about how to do more of what matters to you in a way that's enjoyable, meaningful, and sustainable. And a big part of this journey to financial freedom is finding the time and energy to actually do the things that will help us on our route to financial freedom. So you can check this out. It's on Kindle, it's on Audible, it's on a hardback. You can listen to it in the car in your spare time. I hope you'll get some value from it. And so at this point, some people might be saying that like, okay, well, it's a skill, but you can't get the skill just from learning about it. And yes, that's true. You cannot just get the skill by just listening and learning and reading and all that kind of stuff. You have to take action as well. But essentially what the learning does is that it gives you a firmware update in your own mind. It lets you see what the map looks like. It's like, imagine you're navigating a forest and the destination you're trying to get to is this destination of financial freedom. But it's like this dark forest and there's a lot of fog and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the map to that destination looks like. But when you listen to podcasts where entrepreneurs who have made millions of dollars are breaking down exactly the path that they followed, it's like, oh, okay, that's one route to financial freedom. You would listen to another podcast where someone breaks down how they built a ghostwriting agency to get to $1 million a year. You're like, oh, okay, there's another path. You would watch a YouTube video where someone like me talks about how I got to financial freedom through the vehicle of a YouTube channel, and that's another path. And the more you read and listen to and absorb this sort of stuff, the more you'll realize that the pathway from where you are right now to where you want to be, which is probably financial freedom if you're watching this video, you'll realize that, oh, there's all of these different paths to getting there. And then you can decide which of these paths do I want to take action on. You don't need to know what are 100 different paths to get to financial freedom, but it's useful to appreciate maybe like 10. What are 10 different ways where you could theoretically start from where you are right now and get to the goal of financial freedom within a time frame that seems reasonable to you? And you do that by reading, by listening to, by watching stuff. And once you have those 10, at that point you can move on to habit number 2, which is we've talked about how you can get a sense of what this map is based on the learning. But bad habit number 2 is where even when you do have a sense of what this map is, you decide to stay exactly where you are and you don't decide to go on this journey. You don't take action. Bad habit number 2 is the habit of inaction. There are a lot of people I know who aspire to financial freedom who don't do any learning about it at all. But then there's also quite a lot of people who do aspire to financial freedom, but who are stuck in this sort of paradox of just consistently consuming content and never actually taking any action. Maybe you're in that boat. If you're watching this video, maybe you've seen all of my videos about financial freedom. Maybe you've listened to my podcast. Maybe you've read these books that I've mentioned. Maybe you've been watching every video that Alex Hormozi's ever put out. But maybe you haven't actually taken that first step to try to make your first dollar on the internet. Maybe you're not carving out the time to actually take action on the thing. Now, how do you do that? How do you do that if you're busy, maybe you're a student and you've got stuff to do in the day, maybe you've got a full-time job so you have stuff to do during the day, maybe you're a parent, you've got kids so you've got stuff to do during the day and like not even during the day. Firstly, it's important to realize that almost everyone who ends up becoming financially free, very few of them got there by having a completely empty calendar and they just had swaths and swaths of spare time, and that's how they were able to build that business. Mostly, I've interviewed probably hundreds of people at this point who are financially free. They were all busy. They all had life commitments, family commitments, job commitments, the whole shebang, and they found a way to build this asset or build this business, if they're going down the fast lane approach, in their spare time. So what might this look like? In the case of one of my friends, what he does is that he carves out Monday and Tuesday evening after work every week without fail to work on his YouTube channel and his courses business, because he has decided that YouTube channel plus selling a course is the vehicle that he wants to do to get to financial freedom. If a friend says, hey, do you want to hang out on Monday evening? He's like, nope, sorry, I'm busy that evening. He does Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to hang out with friends, but Monday and Tuesday evening is carved out for work on the YouTube channel and work on the course. Alternatively, you might decide that an hour every morning before work is the amount of time you are carving out to work on your dream of financial freedom. That is the time you are going to spend taking action. It's not the time you're spending learning the skill, because you can learn the skill while doing the laundry, while doing the washing, while commuting to work. You can listen to stuff, you can watch videos in those spare moments throughout the day, but it's those concerted hour-long at least blocks of time where you're actually taking action and actually trying to build the thing. So many people aspire to financial freedom. Very few people put in the time. Because if you look at someone's calendar and you see what they spend their time actually doing, for most people who aspire to financial freedom, you'll probably find that the calendar does not reflect this goal of financial freedom. And then finally, we come to bad habit number 3. And this is a habit that I like to call environmental inertia. Inertia is sort of where you just let things happen as they're already happening. You're sort of operating with the default mode. Now, we've talked about how an important habit in getting to financial freedom is learning the skills and appreciating what the map looks like. We've talked about taking action, but there's a third aspect, which is intentionally designing your environment so that you're able to come into contact with people and with inspiration that will help you out on your journey. One of the easiest ways to get to financial freedom, or rather to speed up your process in getting to financial freedom, is to surround yourself with people who are also on that journey. Now, these people might be exactly where you are on that journey. They might be a couple of steps in front of you. They might be a couple of steps behind you. But if you have friends, colleagues, relatives, a network, if you have people around you who are also on the journey to financial freedom, you're all more likely to make it, because you all benefit from this compounding effect of the people that we have around us. People around us give us a lot of energy. It means that when motivation dips, which it always does on this journey to financial freedom, it's not really a straight line, it's more like a sine wave where motivation waxes and wanes. In those moments where you're feeling down, where your business isn't working, you just got rejected from a sales call that you did, your YouTube video absolutely flopped, no one bought your course, all of that stuff, you have people around you who understand. They get the journey that you're on. If all of the friends that you have are people who have normal jobs and who do not aspire to financial freedom, chances are you will find it very difficult to go on that journey on your own. It is a lot easier to go on that journey when you're with other people. So environmental inertia is when you're not putting any effort into designing your environment. You're not putting any effort into going to events aimed at entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. You're not putting any effort into going to classes. You're not putting any effort into going to meetups. You're not putting in any effort to reach out to people in your local area through Twitter or Instagram who you might be able to send a cold message to be like, hey, you're an entrepreneur, I am as well. I've checked out what you're doing. Would you like to grab coffee or lunch sometime? Creating this network of other entrepreneurs, other people trying to build assets and businesses on this fast lane to financial freedom, I think is one of the biggest things you can do to massively shortcut your process of getting there and to ensure that you don't allow the dips in motivation to completely stall your progress on this journey. Now, if you vibed with this video, firstly, I would love to hear a comment in terms of, if you're at this point, what is one action point you're taking away from this video on your journey to financial freedom? And secondly, if you want a whole video where I break down the journey in more detail, you should check out this video over here, which is my honest advice to someone who wants financial freedom. And in that video, I recommend a bunch of different resources that you can use to also improve your odds of getting to financial freedom. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.